Have you ever bought a bunch of cilantro that was very fresh and fragrant, only to find that after just a few days in the refrigerator, the leaves began to turn yellow, the stems became soft, and some parts even became slimy and had to be thrown away? Cilantro makes many dishes more fragrant and delicious, but it is also one of the herbs that spoils very quickly. If water is still clinging to the cilantro or it is not stored properly, the entire bunch can become soggy and spoil very quickly. Today, I will share with you 4 simple ways to store cilantro. Some methods are suitable for using fresh cilantro every day, while others help us keep it in the freezer for longer use. You will always be able to make good use of fragrant, delicious cilantro without worrying about waste. First, we need to prepare the cilantro properly. When I bring the cilantro home, I open the bunch and inspect it very carefully. Any leaves that have turned yellow, become bruised, darkened, or show signs of sliminess need to be removed immediately. Do not hesitate to discard a few damaged sprigs because they can cause the remaining cilantro to spoil more quickly. If the cilantro still has roots, you can cut off the old roots and the dirty, soil-covered parts at the bottom. However, do not cut the stems too short, especially if you want to use the damp paper towel method or place the cilantro in water. I place the cilantro in a basin of clean water and gently swish it around so that the dirt and sand fall to the bottom. After that, I lift the cilantro out instead of pouring both the cilantro and the water through a colander, because if we do that, the sand at the bottom may stick to the cilantro again. Which country are you watching this video from? Please leave a comment and let me know. I rinse the cilantro under clean running water 1 or 2 more times until no dirt or sand is visible. Fresh herbs should be washed thoroughly under clean running water before they are prepared or eaten. We do not need to use dish soap or any other kind of soap to wash vegetables. After washing, we come to a very important step, drying the cilantro. I gently shake off some of the water, spread the cilantro on a clean towel or paper towels, and blot it dry. If you have a salad spinner, you can use it, but you need to spin it gently so that the cilantro leaves do not become bruised. The cilantro does not need to become dry and crisp, but there should not be any large drops of water left on the surface of the leaves. Water trapped between the sprigs is one of the reasons the cilantro quickly becomes soft and slimy. The first method. I prepare a clean container with a lid. You can use a glass container or a container specifically designed for food storage. I place 1 or 2 layers of dry paper towels at the bottom of the container. The paper towels will help absorb excess moisture and reduce water collecting at the bottom, which can cause the cilantro stems to become soggy. Next, I place the cilantro in the container. Arrange the cilantro gently and keep it relatively loose. Do not roll it tightly or pack the container too full. When the cilantro is compressed too tightly, the leaves can easily become bruised, and moisture has difficulty escaping. If you have quite a large amount of cilantro, you can place another thin layer of paper towel in the middle or cover the top with a layer of paper towel before closing the lid. I close the container and place it in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator. Cilantro is a herb that spoils very easily, so it needs to be kept cold. The refrigerator temperature should be maintained at around 4 degrees Celsius or lower. Each day, when you take out some cilantro to use, always check it. If the paper towels have become very damp, replace them with new ones. At the same time, immediately remove any leaves that are beginning to turn yellow or soft so that they do not affect the remaining cilantro. With this method, you will always have fresh cilantro to use for about 1 week. The second method. This method is suitable for bunches of cilantro with long and relatively firm stems. I prepare a clean paper towel, lightly dampen it, and then wring it out very thoroughly. The towel only needs to be slightly damp and must not be soaking wet. I place the root end and the lower stems of the bunch on the towel, then wrap the towel around them. We only keep the lower part of the stems moist and do not wrap the wet towel around all of the leaves. If the leaves remain in contact with an overly wet towel for a long time, the cilantro may darken, become soft, and quickly turn slimy. Therefore, remember this principle: the stems need a little moisture, but the leaves should be kept relatively dry. After wrapping the stems, I place the bunch of cilantro in a food storage bag or a long container. If you use a bag, you should not squeeze out all of the air or roll the bag tightly around the cilantro. Leave a small amount of space inside for the cilantro. I place the cilantro in the refrigerator for storage. About once every 2 days, I check the towel. If it has dried out completely, I lightly dampen it again. If it is too wet or has an unusual odor, I replace it with a new towel immediately. This method helps prevent the stems from drying out too quickly. However, you still need to check them regularly because the humidity level in each refrigerator is different. This is also a very good way to store fresh cilantro. Give it a try and see how long it stays fresh. The third method. This is a method I really like because when we cook, we do not need to take the cilantro out and chop it again. After the cilantro has been washed and dried very thoroughly, I remove any stems that are too old or tough. The tender stems can still be kept because they are fragrant and can certainly be used in many dishes. I gather the cilantro together and chop it to the size my family usually uses. There is no need to chop it too finely because when it is frozen and taken out several times, the cilantro may break into even smaller pieces. I place the chopped cilantro in a freezer-safe container. The container must be clean and completely dry. When placing the cilantro inside, I do not press it down too tightly. I simply spread it out relatively evenly, close the lid tightly, and write the storage date on the outside of the container. You can also divide the cilantro among several smaller containers. This is more convenient than opening one large container many times, while also helping to prevent moisture and freezer odors from entering. When I need to make broth, soup, stew, sauce, or egg dishes, I take out the amount of cilantro I need and add it directly to the dish. There is no need to thaw it first. Frozen cilantro will become softer after thawing, so this method is not suitable for using it as a garnish or eating it as a fresh herb. However, for hot dishes, its aroma is still very useful. After taking out the cilantro, close the lid immediately and return the container to the freezer. Avoid allowing the cilantro to thaw and then refreezing it repeatedly. The fourth method. The final method is very suitable for people who like to prepare small portions in advance for cooking. After washing, drying, and finally chopping the cilantro, I prepare a clean ice cube tray. I place the cilantro in each compartment, using only a moderate amount and not pressing it down too tightly. Next, I pour a little clean water into each compartment, just enough to hold the pieces of cilantro together. If you often use cilantro for stir-fried dishes or sauces, you can also use a small amount of cooking oil suitable for the dish instead of water. However, you should prepare a separate water tray and oil tray to avoid confusion when using them. I place the tray in the freezer until the cilantro cubes are completely frozen solid. After that, I remove the cubes, transfer them to a sealed freezer-safe bag or container, and write the name and storage date on the outside. Transferring the cilantro cubes to a sealed container will help save space while also preventing the cilantro from absorbing the odors of other foods. When making broth, soup, stock, sauce, or stew, I only need to take out 1 or 2 cubes and add them directly to the pot. This method is very convenient because each cube is almost like a pre-portioned serving of cilantro. You should adjust the amount of cilantro in each cube according to your family's habits. If you usually cook in a small pot, make smaller cubes. If you have a large family or often cook in a large pot, you can place a little more cilantro in each compartment. Cilantro can be frozen for long-term use, but we should use it gradually while it still has a good aroma instead of forgetting it in the freezer. So, today we have learned 4 ways to store cilantro. How do you usually store cilantro? Please share your method in the comments so that everyone and I can learn from it. I have prepared subtitles in multiple languages. You can select the appropriate language in the video settings. And do not forget to tell me which country you are watching the Merry Home channel from. I am always very happy to know that we can meet and share useful little tips from many places around the world. Thank you for watching. If you find this video helpful, please like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Merry Home channel. See you in the next video.